Welcome to Canyon Creek Elementary. Come spend the day with us.
Every morning at 8:20, you can find Canyon Creek student and staff at morning opening in our gym. We gather as an entire school to hear announcements, welcome guests to the building, watch our newscast, and Canyon 5 News. So celebrate birthdays and reward our crews with scoops for positive behaviors. Then we say the pledge and head off to our class for some great learning.
1, 2, 3.
We build community within our school with crews. A crew is made up of 3 or 4 varies of grade level classrooms and special teachers. They work together to earn their scoops for PBIS, have one recess and eat lunch together, as well as hold a meeting once a week. During those meetings, you can find crews working together to positively impact our school and community. When classrooms are not meeting with their crew, they are holding a morning meeting. A morning meeting can be a lesson to reinforce or teach expected behaviors. A second step lesson, team building activity, or anything that works toward creating a sense of belonging in the classroom.
Everybody turn to your partner, and you are going to share what crew expectation you think this is. Your friend dropped a pencil on the ground. And you pick it up and help them. Show what that is to your partner. Oh, I see a heart for caring. I see responsible. Talk to your partner why you chose what you chose.
Project-based learning is a teaching method used by all teachers at Canyon Creek. Teachers integrate reading and writing into science and social studies to create authentic learning experiences for our students. Even our specialists team up with grade levels to incorporate the work being done in the classroom into their special.
Check out this kindergarten classroom working on their community PBL.
Fourth grade is working on a history of Kansas PBL.
Our first grade opened a restaurant, and our fifth graders are hard at work researching for the current project. Second grade students are trio for reading about slope land changes and then making a model of how a canyon is formed.
Grades 1, 3, and 5 have an annual showcase. Showcases is a collaboration between classroom teachers and specialists. Families are invited one evening to show off what has been happening. In the classroom and specials, the goal is to connect what is happening in specials with what is happening in the current PBL.
Put a support like you, and then it will be perfectly.
Wait, or we can maybe there's.
Wait, Keelan, can you put the mobile in?
No, Keelan.
An important part of our day is our all-school walk to intervention for reading. Students around the building will meet in classrooms and collaborate spaces for a dedicated time focused on what they currently need in the areas of phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension.
And Joe. Set sail
Yellow
to the
coat.
Every
Go on a trip to the.
What sounds do you hear? What sounds do you hear?
So sad, rat, hat.
Hold it out silent E. So it's okay. Everybody find that word.
Right here.
Pull it out. Yes, pull it out. All right, put it to the side.
During math time, students are taught through a whole group instructions, partner work, and using manipulatives in small group MTSS interventions.
We're going to do our number bond story. Are you ready? Heart plus heart equals total. Okay, now let's take 4 and let's put it together.
Thanks, Ted.
Let's blast it off. Are you ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. Good job.
What do you mean by over its head?
Like 7 plus 2.
Oh, okay, so when you add up the digits, remember you use that word digits, it's a number that's less than 10. Do the others all add up to a digit larger than 10?
Change because an action did happen, okay? Okay, let's do another one.
I know which coin. This is a $50 coin. This is not a coin. This is not a quarter. This is $50 coin.
I feel as though one of our strengths is our data-driven instruction. PSIing all of the kids and finding their exact needs and targeting them and providing them interventions. I do feel like that's a strength, being able to change our reading groups so often and provide what they need, because that's a huge foundation in first grade.
The quarter, we've been using the information from the quarter benchmark assessments to make our groups, and so we've looked at, like, we've got our third quarter, and it's whatever the main standards were, then we'll sort those and do the actual groups in the afternoon, and then in between those we use our topic quizzes. Those go in, that was something like several years ago. They're all in Mastery Connect, and we can put them all in and sort and see who needs to be in groups for that too. So we kind of do it, and those are more in class. So.
Sure. For math, I feel like we do a really good job at assessing our students' needs and really using good interventions to hopefully bridge those gaps that those students have. I feel like we use data very well in terms of our use of Mastery Connect. Our common formative assessments for math are really solid, structured, in place to our curriculum. And I feel like we actually use that data to drive our instruction.
Like our PLC is really solid. We meet every day. If we were not in here, we would all three be in Callie's room.
Yeah, that's
right
true.
now.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, we sit down and we look at our most common formative assessment, whatever that is, and the standards and who's there and who's not. Just break kids up and divide and conquer. Do this group, I'll do this group, and meet the challenges that way.
And if we need to teach again, then we get a different teacher to reteach that skill again, that spirit again. So.
I think we started just coming down to different grade level. We knew what the upper grades kind of look like, and so we had to figure out, like, what does that look like in kindergarten when they don't know how to write yet and they don't know how to do some of those things that upper kids know how to do. So we can't have journals for them to write in, and so what is that accountability piece going to look like? How are they going to be able to present? What can we do to kind of get them where we want to be by the end of the year to be able to do some of that? So I think we started out kind of slow as far as we actually start a little bit before that first quarter just with an alphabet one of, like, why do we know the alphabet, and try to get them with that same language that everyone uses across, like, the school. But then when we plan, we start, I feel like, just like the other of, here's our calendar, and we plug in what do we want them to know, what are our milestones, and we put that in there.
For sure, we always start by looking at the standards, the reading and writing we integrate, and then obviously the science and social studies, and then we take a look at all the resources the district gives us, and then we kind of like to work backwards. Sometimes I feel like each project is different, but a lot of times we work backwards and start with where they need to end up, and then work backwards on the little milestones and checks that they need to achieve before getting to that end project, and then we just kind of go from there.
So we always start with our content standards, so the social studies and science, and then we go in and see, like, which reading standards would best support the project, and how can we integrate this.
I feel like we don't just do the same thing. We're always changing it.
Most of them are different from when we very first started.
Oh,
that
they're a
first
lot
year.
different.
And yeah, we finally got, I think, maybe 2 or so are just rock solid. But everything else continues to need tweaking, and just take the time to go, do we need another resource? Was there new information out there, like with our kids and animals that we're just getting ready to start? We have the thing going on in Johnson County with invasive trees. Well, perfect. That's here, that's now. We need to bring that in to this unit. So really trying to be aware of what's going on and how we can connect those things, just like the kick challenge that we did for Kansas and some of those things.
And so I feel like it's really woven together really nicely, and then there's lots of like field trips, and we've got eggs and mealworms coming. Like there's lots of hands-on with it as well.
I feel like that project is just so authentic. They really get to watch everything happen in real time. Like they get to watch the life cycle of the chick egg, and then they get to see the trait and look at the traits and really like see this animal we have in our classroom. And so I just think that it's really authentic, and they have a buy-in with it just because they get to take care of these animals.
Well, one of my favorite is probably Matter Chef.
Yeah.
It's very authentic because kids, they love to learn how to cook, and learning all the science that goes behind that is just really fun for them. And then all kids want to be YouTube stars. And we give them a chance to develop those skills that if they were to take that career, they would have a foundation of skills to use. So that's one of my favorites that they do.
I would agree.
We've been incorporating a lot of like reading into our PBL and making sure that we find books that they can read at their level and be able to some of those testing items within the PBL as well, not just small groups, that we can see are they understanding and taking those bigger skills of comprehension and stuff and doing that in part of it versus just teaching them to read in a small group. So we've kind of tried to incorporate throughout the day.
Yeah.
Our morning work this year, we've changed from just doing a math morning page. They're both reading on it as well. So that way they're getting to see what it looks like to read a passage and go back into the passage, underline any possible answers and try to answer it that way.
We took the released Kansas Assessment passages and we aligned them in Mastery Connect with standards so that when they take those week data on multiple standards.
Well, last year, I think it was last year, we discovered theory. And I like that, and the kids love that because they can see right then and there how they are doing, and it shows them what they missed, and they're motivated to do it, and I think it builds on their fluency and their comprehension, so it's a great little tool.
And it exposes them to those different question types
Yes, question
they'll
types.
see in assessments here in the spring. So
They're challenging.
yeah.
So I have like CRUISE and what it stands for and what that might look like in the classroom. I have that like huge on my cabinet, so they are reminded of that every day and what I'm looking for. And so if I see a student that is really gone above and beyond, and I'm so wonderstruck, and I'll give them a Cami Cash. And
something new that I really like that we started in our school this year is the lunch. I really like the colored dots, and lunch is such a problem for I'm sure every school, but if the kids get 5 dots for positive behavior in the lunchroom, they get free seating on the 5th day. And then we have a specific staff member that's in charge of passing out Cami Cash and recognizing those kids that do the right thing every day, and a lot of times go unnoticed. And then I really like our specials team. I like the whole class competition they do now. They do quarterly reward competitions to where they get the 4, 3, 2, 1 scores, and whoever has the highest score in that special for the quarter gets a reward class the following quarter, and they get recognized in front of our whole school assembly in the morning, and the kids get really excited for it. And then if they don't win, they see like, oh, I'm being held accountable, like, oh, we got all 2s all the time in art this quarter, and that's why we didn't win. So it helps give them a consequence.
Right? It's about being proactive with teaching the behaviors because they're learned, right? And so I feel like just being on the same page about crew's expectations and having those videos during our morning opens and then reinforcing those skills in our own classrooms has been really helpful this year to just prevent those big behaviors, and then just staying positive. So awarding as many credits as we can I've found the most effective way to, limit those behaviors in the classroom.
Well, and I think a big one too for me is, well, everybody is building that rapport with the students so they feel like there's trust and being consistent in the classroom. What the expectations, I think that helps to build a positive climate in the classroom.
So just to keep up the momentum of how we're doing and recognizing the things that we're doing well, but also, make sure are all of our projects lined up for next year? Did we reflect on how well things went this year? Do we need to make any small changes? Because I always think like now is kind of the time to put those things in place for next year.
The PBI things that we do with the jewels and, I think eventually we're going to have to rethink, just make it fresh, keep it fresh for the kids and continue to change that. Hopefully cash won't wear out its welcome, but you know what I mean? Just continue to think of new ways to make it exciting and fresh, I think.
Yeah. Reading committee, like getting the new curriculum, I think that's going to be a really big thing for us to tackle in the upcoming year, is just looking at that curriculum and resource and like figuring out how we're going to use it with PDL and how we're going to fit it in and how we're going to put it into our projects and into our plans. So I feel like that is definitely on my radar moving.
Well, I really enjoyed the crews, like having a crew, so being buddied with younger grades, and it is really good for our 5th graders too because it gives them that natural opportunity to be leaders and role models for those younger kids. And it's really nice for me as a teacher because, like we've been saying, I get to know those younger kids, so I get to see them every year as they grow, and then when they're fun to me, I already have that kind of rapport with them, and that's just extremely helpful as a teacher. So.
Will we use the PSI for their group and share that information, and so that's we get the groups that they go to, and then in our classroom we're doing mentor sentence, which is a time to hit all of the grammar standards, and then also I guess on that same line, when we're trying to move students in the future out of those intervention groups, we've been doing a lot of fluency practice at separate times, so that if they are out of the room, they're not missing that part. But we do the milk and cookies fluency reading.
I'm proud of this because you have to get really creative. I don't know about the other grades, but like we only teach 4 skills, like 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we do reading group every day religiously, and so it's really easy if you're doing a 2-day lesson plan to run out of books. And so we're constantly looking and reviewing different resources out there, what we have available in the district, and then freebie websites, or the school's great about sharing those resources and just like passing along places that we find those decodable passages and books, or the sentence expanders, or anything we can get our hands on to get them reading new text that is decodable, that they are capable of practicing and doing independently. So I think we do.